Hey, what's up? Today we're going to dive into the latest response from the CEO to Sony, a brand new cape design, new bugs have popped in, and more. Not only that, but recently an Arrowhead developer discussed the possibility of a ban for using mods online, having more than 4 players on a planet, and much more. If you find the video enjoyable or informative, give the video a thumbs up. Let's begin by discussing the latest response from the CEO about the issues with blocked regions. Now, it turns out that it's actually the publisher's fault according to the recent Steam statement that was posted here. And what it says right here, it states, "I apologize for the delay in our response and I understand your eagerness to resolve the issue. However, following Sony's recent announcement, PSN linking is no longer required for Helldivers 2. Also, it looks like the game is not available in Steam right now for specific regions as decided by the publisher. This information is all that we have right now, and we can't tell when the game might be made available in those countries. You may consider getting in touch with the game's publisher to ask more details about it or share your feedback to them." After this screenshot was posted, this is what the CEO replied with. "The statements are not incompatible." I will say his statement about it is strange because this information right here is coming from Steam themselves. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know. Next, someone had tagged Pillisted with this right here saying, "It's a lot more than accounts. Sony only sold games in 180 markets that they know they were going to pull support from. They just added 3 more countries to their list of unsupported countries, making it 180 total countries that won't be able to play if PSN is required." CEO Pillisted replied with, "PSN won't be required, the sales will be honored, and it won't be made unplayable." Well, he is firmly stating that they are not proceeding with the PSN link. But we do know something here, that Sony is proceeding with this with one game. And well, what game is that? This is going to be Ghost of Tsushima, which does require players to link up, which is supposedly changed for Helldivers 2. I say supposedly because of the regions that are now currently restricted. But yeah, it's interesting. Now, another player here responded with this by saying, "You promised everyone would be able to play Helldivers and they can't. We trusted you." Arrowhead chief executive replied, "Still working on it every day, wanting it to happen." Then someone else wanted to know why they decided to add more countries to the restriction list. This person says, "Thank you. Why have they continued to add more countries to the list of restrictions though?" The answer to this is not the best, but this is what Pillisted replied with. "It was an administrative technicality correction. I posted about it earlier." I believe he is referring to the quote, "statements are not incompatible" comment from earlier, but yeah. It's interesting, so at least we know they are still progressing with it. They do not want PSN link in there. However, I do have to say, guys, it's concerning for those that are still blocked because they do not have access to the game. Although it is fair to say that you guys out there that are blocked in those regions, you kind of have access still if you have yet to uninstall it. If it's still in your system, you can play the game. But if you've uninstalled it from your computer system, you're screwed. Anyways, the CEO then goes on to reply to a comment about the crashes on PlayStation, and the chief executive replied, "Hey, we keep a close eye on it. The team cares greatly and wants the game to be good as possible. We are fixing issues, but new issues sneak in." So apparently the latest patch introduced new problems that the developers need to address. This is happening while they are also trying to deliver a monthly war bond, dealing with the PSN link controversy, and managing balancing issues. It's a challenging situation, say the least, but on a positive note here, the chief executive of Arrowhead is interested in a cape design contest that the community can participate in. This question right here was asked by this Twitter user, and he says, "Will there ever be a chance for a cape design contest down the line? I remember participating in the Monster Hunter's weapon design, and it was the most fun I ever had." The CEO responded with, "Oh yes, that's a great idea. Some legal hurdles to go through, but we should really do it." What are your thoughts on a cape design contest where we can submit our ideas for the next Helldiver cape? Also, what color scheme would you choose? Let me know. Now moving on, the CEO replied to a post that showcased some Star Wars themed armors in game that were modded. One user stated, "This is where collabs come into place. I know we not Fortnite, but still." The chief executive says this in response, "Imagine if there was a predator-like alien species in the Helldivers universe that were exiled from the galaxy that were planning vengeance." He also responded to another user about crossovers. The CEO essentially stated that he does not want to dilute the brand that is Helldivers 2. Here's what he had to say. Lots, but we do not want to dilute the brand by making crossovers that don't make sense. We are now moving on to the developer's response to the recent modding in Helldivers 2. There has been questions surrounding this ever since someone threw in a freaking Buzz Lightyear armor. I'm not kidding, it was like an actual armor from Buzz Lightyear. And recently, a member on the Helldivers 2 Discord asked, will I get banned if I use mods in Helldivers 2 like the Star Wars one? Evil Boss, the developer, replied with this right here. Some of the cosmetic mods may use methods similar to those of cheats to change game stuff on the fly. I would advise against it until there's a proper stance from Arrowhead on it. And I haven't seen any eternal discussions around the topic, but it's also a bit off my table. The developer then continues on to respond to another user stating, I don't know about this exactly. It is at best a great area. Since it uses a lot of methods similar to cheats, it might trigger a cheating ban. I would suggest not running mods on your install, but can't guarantee in either direction. So really, there's no confirmation whether or not you're going to receive a ban for using these mods. So really, it's best to just avoid it for right now until Arrowhead can actually make an official statement. We're now continuing on with the other question here, which says, so no colorblind accessibility. The developer then responded to this by saying, I don't think we have any confirmed. We are doing some stuff in general accessibility wise, but I got barely any insight in it. Alright, with that to the side, we have another question here by the next member who asked the developer if there has been any updates on the patrols and if they plan on fixing any of the issues with the spawn rate. The developer replied with, no clue what is up with the spawn rates and patrols or if anyone has been tinkering. The next member here asked a completely different question, which was basically about adding more players to the game. So for example right here, this user says, dear developers, I hope you read this. I want to suggest you add a new mode like a big war when there are when there are many more paratroopers than 4 people. Evil Boss had this to say in response, I can hear our engine devs crying in pain from this statement, but it would be awesome. And last but not least, the support team replied to this comment that said, is it normal that when I made a checkup on Steam for corrupted files since I couldn't start the game, it said, 1 files failed to validate and will be reacquired. I uninstalled the game and reinstalled it and still have this 1 file that failed to validate. The support team member Omnivore replied with, we've been receiving some tickets mentioning this issue. I myself do not know the answer as it's very deep into technical territory, but I do know other people have been reporting this and it's been investigated by our coders internally. Alrighty, with that to the side, we're now going to check out the very last comment here by Omnivore, and this is about mods in general. Here's Omnivore's response. Hey, sorry for the late response. I am actually not sure about this. I'd imagine that the answer is different depending on how invasive a mod is. In case you only alter your own Helldivers appearance on your own computer, I doubt there's any risk of being banned at all. But if it messes with more stuff, then I wouldn't recommend it. In any case, I've actually been asked something similar in the past, so I will make sure to ask the right people and have the right answer at the ready next time. Well, there you go. This is your Helldivers 2 news. If you guys would like to be featured in the next video, comment down below. Here's your top 3 comments from the previous video. Starting off, we have this player named Hans, and he says, the industry is seriously destroying itself. The second comment here is by a user named Jared, and he says, Super Stupid HD 2 is an exclusive title. I don't understand why companies don't want to make money. And last but not least, we have this player named Digital Classic. This person says, thought Sony was backing out because they saw the situation would result in class action lawsuits. Guess we'll be seeing that soon. There you go. These are the top comments from the previous video. If you'd like to be featured in the next video, comment down below. Now again, I get asked a lot, why do you do this at the end of the video? It's to give you guys a voice, to let you guys speak on the channel and kind of just share your thoughts. Anyways, thank you guys for supporting the channel. If you guys would like to subscribe, turn on the notifications, and make sure that you do give this video a thumbs up if you have found it helpful. Thank you guys again, and I'll see you all in the next one.